Here's our most recent project that myself and Ryan did. He started this project a day before me. As you can tell, he probably had a lot of carbs the day before. We're knocking out 2 walls of this project, tearing off, this was TruWood Cottage style lap siding. It's a pretty easy tear off overall. It had old spun polyethylene underlayment that never does a great job of sealing and always allows for a little bit of penetration back into the sheathing. I worked through, got the most of the backside done. This was about a 2-day project. We had 2 full days out there and a second half day for caulking. It actually ended up being a full day, but it was supposed to be a half day. As you can see, we're working through, pulling off all the old house wrap, all the old window tape. It wasn't actually window tape, it was old Flash, which isn't butylene backed. Ryan's still up there working on the tall sections. Here at some point, I'll walk through and start to give him a hand. Here we installed an anchor up on the roof. Ryan went through and tried to get her installed up there. Ryan's not the biggest fan of heights ever, so sometimes he has, some slow down moments on those areas. So I ended up taking that over for him. Here I am. We always weave our anchors in underneath shingles so that way it doesn't damage areas. So that way we're not, punching holes through a nice, and this was a newer roof on this project. We don't want to tear up some beautiful shingles up there, so we always tuck our anchors in underneath a row of shingles. Here I am working through the higher sections in the gable vented areas. Ryan's working through laying down Tyvek on the lower sections. You can see we're just about getting that done. This was a windy day, unfortunately, which was brutal for me and Ryan, especially just with the monotonous sound of Tyvek flapping in the wind. Here we are getting cleaned up, getting ready to get some planks going and start install. Still day one. I think this came out to around 1,300 square feet. So not small, not big, somewhere in the middle. Big for a repair for sure, but here's Ryan working through, going around the vents. Getting some, you see above the windows, Ryan is installing Flash, blue skin, whatever you want to call it, a butylene based window sealant that goes around and seals around the penetrations for your pin nails. I'm getting our line set up. At some point I'll start mapping out. Yep, just mapped all of our studs and our guide line for that bottom piece right there. This TruWood clicks together fairly quickly. They all rest on each other. Ryan's going through, nailing. Here's Ryan getting the top layer of Tyvek done. He just wrapped that up there. As you can see, we still have some old siding at the very top of the roof. Top of the wall, I guess, would be a better term. Sometimes we like to leave that till the very end until I get up there with a ladder. I have no idea if that's faster. It definitely seems faster, but that could be just us convincing ourselves of things. Ryan's working through laying down some trim up there. We go. We first got the plank set up. We're running ladder jacks for this entire project. It might have been faster to get pump jacks set up. I'm not 100% sure. But we went with ladder jacks. We convinced ourselves that that would be more efficient, but Lord knows. We are working that wall up. TruWood is kind of funky because you run seams that go all the way across. Here I am finally tearing off that top row up there, getting that prepped, removing the old paper from the area and that old faux window tape and installing new Tyvek, getting my window tape installed in that top window, working all the way across. Mapping studs again, and getting these return pieces of siding in. We've got Ryan down there cutting window trim. Yeah, I'm working through, getting the rest of that window finished up, all taped out. At this point, it was starting to get a little bit rainy outside, and I wanted to make sure we got that side covered with Tyvek before we got out of there. So I started Tyvecking this side while Ryan worked his siding up all above the little back porch. We ended up running smaller sheets of Tyvek on this place just because it was so high up and because we didn't have pump jack set up. Alright, I'm cutting that Tyvek in place. We always go over the vents as we go through them and then go back through and cut them out. Just because, you leave them overnight. We're not going to get up to that point in siding, so we wanted to make sure we had it watertight. Here I am getting that last run installed. This was all off a 32-foot ladder, so kind of painful. At least moderately painful. Here's Ryan working through that side. At some point, there I go. I'm knocking out some guide lines, and I'm getting started on mapping studs. That's what I'm doing with the 4-foot level, moving up and down, so I can start installing some siding low down. And that's just about day 1 on site. Here is day 2. Ryan's window taping out that penetration right there, using butylene to go around. Alright, I'm getting rock and roll in my little section over there. Like I said, there's seam covers on all this type of siding. We make sure to use a good high quality caulking, but it kind of is what it is. So you railroad all the sticks as you install them. So I'm railroading everything. Ryan's railroading everything as we go up. So you'll watch I'll catch up really quick right now, just because my pieces are a little bit smaller than Ryan's are. Having my studs again, working up. Here we are hooking up the ladder jack again. Anchoring these in the walls. Window taping out that window. This is where our GoPro battery died, unfortunately, so you missed that whole corner up there. We are moving through the left side wall. This is day 2, of course. If you look at me on the roof up there, I'm standing on a cushion. We always do this when we have, roof sections next to siding, or when we're roofing, for that matter. It keeps us from scarring up the area below us, especially on a steep roof like this, because you're going to see boot marks all over the, nice new roofing. We want to be careful and make sure we don't tear up a homeowner's nice new roof. Ryan's working these big sticks up to me. These were a total pain to get in. They're just about full 16s. And heavy and floppy and hard to put in. We're starting to install some seam covers down low. You can see I just tacked one in. Here I am installing window trim around the window to the north in this situation, but in the screen to the left. Working my way up, I'm wrapping out that vent up there with blue skin, Fortiflash, whatever you want to call it, butylene-based sealant, butylene-based tape sealant, before I install the actual vent itself. Here's Ryan getting some freeze boards cut and ready for installation. I'm installing the second to last piece in this area. And then I think the last piece didn't quite fit. I had to hand it to Ryan to have him recut it. And the last piece installed, vent installed, and trim. I don't think trim is quite been done yet. There we go, there's the trim. We are busting down the planks for this side. We were a couple sticks of trim short on this house, unfortunately. So at the end of day 2, we got all the siding in, but we did not get all the trim in. That was day 3. And day 3 was caulking as well. We cranked through a box of Quad Max in this place on just these few punctures, which I was surprised by. They're admiring our work. Getting the last couple pieces of trim and siding installed before we get out of these folks' hair. I guess for one more day. We did come back one more day after this. If I remember correctly, this was a Saturday and we came back again on the Monday. And that's it for the GoPro footage. Another fun and definitely exciting project. Thanks.